Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a practice that's pretty much as old as cooking itself, getting a new clay pot ready. If you've ever wanted to bring that amazing, earthy, traditional flavor into your kitchen, well, this is the absolute essential first step. You know, this quote just captures the spirit of what we're talking about so perfectly. Seasoning a clay pot isn't just another kitchen chore, it's a ritual. It's something that connects us to our food, to our history, and to a much more mindful way of living.
So, first up, let's explore the allure of clay and really get into why cooking in these beautiful earthenware pots is a tradition that's making such a powerful comeback.
So what's the big deal with clay pots anyway? Well, the magic really comes down to their porous structure. And that's not a flaw, it's the key feature. It allows heat to spread slowly and evenly, which means gentle cooking that seriously enhances both the flavor and the nutritional value of your food. It's really no wonder that clay pots have been a cornerstone of traditional cooking across so many cultures for centuries.
But here's the thing, there's a catch. We have to talk about the unseasoned truth. A brand new pot, right off the shelf, isn't actually ready for your stove. It has this hidden fragility that we have to take care of before we can even think about cooking with it.
Which, of course, brings us to the most important question. Why go through all this trouble? Why do we even have to season a pot at all? I mean, can't you just wash it and start cooking?
Well, the transformation is pretty dramatic. An unseasoned pot is brittle, it's way more likely to crack, and it has this really strong earthy smell that can get into your food. But after seasoning, it's a completely different story. The pot is strengthened, those odors are gone, it's protected from cracking, and its pores are sealed up for safe cooking. You're basically creating a whole new, much better cooking vessel.
Okay, so how do we get from that brittle pot to a brilliant one? Let's get to the main event, the seasoning method. And I want you to think of this not as a chore, but as a time-tested ritual for creating the absolute perfect pot for your kitchen.
And the best part is, it's a wonderfully simple and totally natural process. It's broken down into just 4 key steps that are going to take your pot from the shelf to the stove, ready for action.
So here's our roadmap. A simple initial cleaning, then a special coating of oil and turmeric, followed by the most important step, boiling millet starch water, and finally, just drying and storing. Let's break them down.
First up, the initial clean. And this is super important. Use plain water only. Absolutely no soap. That's because soap can get trapped in the clay's pores and then leach into your food later.
No thanks.
Our source also highly recommends soaking the pot in water for a full 24 hours. This really hydrates the clay from the inside out, making it stronger and way less likely to crack. After that, just drain it and let it air dry completely.
Step 2 is where the magic really starts to happen. We're going to create a simple paste with 1 to 2 tablespoons of sesame oil and about half a teaspoon of organic turmeric powder. You get this beautiful golden paste. Now, using your hands, just apply this mixture all over the entire pot, inside and out. Then let it sit and absorb for a full 24 hours. The oil strengthens the clay, and that turmeric acts as a natural disinfectant.
Okay, now for the most important part of this whole ritual. This is the step that really sets this natural method apart from others. The secret ingredient here is millet starch water. So here's what you do. First, you cook some millets, like foxtail or kodo, with extra water. Then you strain out that cloudy, starchy liquid. That right there, that's your seasoning broth. You'll fill the pot about 70% full and bring it to a gentle boil on a low flame for about 15 to 20 minutes. That gradual heat is absolutely essential to prevent cracking. After that, just turn off the stove and let it cool down completely on its own. This final part is what seals all those tiny micro-pores.
So once the pot has cooled all the way down, pour out the millet water and give it one last gentle rinse with plain water. Let it air dry completely. And with that simple final step, the whole process is done. Your pot is now transformed, and it is ready to add that incredible earthy soul to your food.
So now you're probably wondering, why does this specific method work so well? Let's break down the simple science behind each of these natural ingredients. It's really pretty elegant. Each ingredient has a very specific job. The oil soaks deep into the clay to physically strengthen its structure. The turmeric acts as a powerful, natural antibacterial and deodorizing agent. And finally, the millet starch gets into every single micro-pore, sealing them up to create that perfect, even cooking surface.
You can really think of it as this trifecta of natural power. Each part, the oil, the turmeric, and the starch, plays a roughly equal and totally vital role. They all work together in harmony to strengthen, disinfect, and seal the pot, creating the perfect vessel for your cooking.
And why millet starch specifically? Well, as our source points out, it's about more than just function. It aligns perfectly with a holistic, natural approach to food. If you already incorporate millets into your diet, it's a completely seamless fit. It's just one of those small changes that really reflects a larger philosophy of returning to natural living.
And with that, the transformation is complete. Your pot is officially ready to go. You've just unlocked the potential for some seriously soulful, earthy goodness right there in your own kitchen. Okay, one last piece of expert advice. For the first 2 or 3 times you use your newly seasoned pot, stick to cooking milder dishes. You know, things like a simple porridge or a lentil-based sambar are absolutely perfect. This just helps to build up that final layer of natural non-stick seasoning, making sure your pot is perfectly primed for years and years of use. As our source puts it so nicely, take the time to follow these steps. Embrace this small ritual, and you'll have a pot that serves you faithfully for years to come, infusing every single meal with that unique, earthy goodness.
Ultimately, this whole process just goes to show that a clay pot is so much more than a cooking vessel. It's a real connection to a slower, more intentional way of preparing our food. Which leaves us with a final question to think about. What ancient wisdom will you bring into your kitchen next? Thanks for joining us on The Explainer.